Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Suicide Squad, number 2 would be Jason Bourne, number 3 would be Star Trek Beyond, number 4 would be Bad Moms, and number 5 would be 9 Lives. And I only got 2 out of 5 of my predictions right. What do you know? Let's get right on into it. Number 1 was obviously Suicide Squad. I don't think anyone was doubting that it would lose to 9 Lives or something like that, but it did get number 1. It made $135 million, and not only is that really good for an August release, because this is actually the highest opening weekend for any August movie ever. It topped Guardians of the Galaxy's record of 90 million, and that's very good for this film, but it's also behind Captain America Civil War and Batman vs. Superman for highest superhero opening of the year, just a little bit ahead of Deadpool's opening, which is very good for this movie, and it only needs $40 million to get its budget of 175 back. That's very good for this movie. Even though I was overall disappointed in it, I had a lot of fun with it, and a lot of people are saying that they enjoyed it because of how much fun they had, so that's pretty good. There's no crime against entertaining people, just I would have liked if Suicide Squad was just a little bit better. But moving on, number 2 was Jason Bourne. This weekend it made $22 million, and that adds to a total of $103 million. So it only needs $17 million more to get that $120 million budget back. But I think it's going to get there in like a week or so, and it's rightfully deserved because Jason Bourne I had a great time with. I think it's incredibly underrated, and I'm so glad that the mixed reactions to this movie didn't stop people from seeing it this weekend. It didn't really have that much of a drop, really. I mean, it dropped by 60%, but really, it opened with like 59 million, and it going to a 22. It's not that bad. It was also the second highest opening weekend for a Bourne movie, so that was also really good for this film. I'm just glad it's doing well, and it's really great to be reassured that the movie you love is doing well. Anyways, number 3 was Bad Moms. This weekend it made $14 million, and that adds to a total of $51 million. So it is $9 million away from actually tripling its $20 million budget, which honestly really surprises me. When I first saw the trailers for this movie, I never would have predicted that it would have made this much money, but here we are, and that's pretty good for this film that I have not seen yet. So let's move on to number 4, The Secret Life of Pets. This weekend it made $11 million, and that adds to a total of $319 million, and the box office is doing so well for this movie that they officially announced a sequel for it in 2018. Ugh, come on, Illumination. But hey, it's mainly just me saying that the movie was mediocre as a whole. The Rotten Tomatoes score proves to me that a lot more people actually enjoyed it, so whatever. But the thing that really surprises me, not only about this movie this weekend, but Bad Moms, is that it actually was able to beat out Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Beyond went from last week number 2 to number 5 this weekend. I have no idea how Bad Moms and Secret Life of Pets actually made more money than Star Trek, but here we are. It made $10 million this weekend, though, and that adds to a total of $127 million. So this has got to be really disappointing for a Bad Robot and Paramount, right? This movie is really not doing that well compared to the other Star Trek movies that have come out directed by J.J. Abrams, but it still made over $100 million. It's still doing well. It's making money. It's just not as much compared to the other Star Trek movies, which is actually really depressing if you think about it. Worldwide, it's doing all right, but here, domestically, it needs $58 million in order to get its budget back, but it's not going to be able to get that, unfortunately. It's kind of sad. But what's also sad is that the next movie on here at the number 6 spot actually exists, and it came out. This movie is 9 Lives, and this weekend it made $6,500,000. What the heck? Who would have thought that many people? I know it's not that much really, and I don't really know what the budget is, but I can't really say that this movie. But I can't imagine that this weekend it actually got its budget back, but I'm still shocked that this many people actually went out to see this movie. Actually, I'm not surprised because it's a talking cat picture starring Kevin Spacey. Oy vey. Moving on to number 7, which was Lights Out. This weekend it made $6,005,000, and that adds to a total of $54 million. That's very good for this movie. Definitely deserves that $6 million, unlike 9 Lives. Actually, I can't say that. That's really unfair. I haven't seen 9 Lives, but do I really need to? I mean, I can't really say that it's automatically horrible because I haven't seen it, but I know that it's not good, at least. You've seen the trailer, right? Anyways, number 8 was Nerve. This weekend it made $4,900,000, and that adds to a total of $26 million. So, see, guys, last week I said it would be able to cross its budget, and it did. It made $6 million more than that. That's very good for this movie that I have not seen, and it's about to leave the top 10 practically. So, see you later, Nerve. I mean, I highly doubt that you're going to be here next weekend. Or maybe you will. Maybe you'll be clinging on for dear life at the number 10 spot. But at least I know these next two movies will definitely be goners. Number 9 was Ghostbusters. This weekend it made $4,800,000, and that adds to a total of $116 million. So domestically, it wasn't able to get its budget of 144. It didn't even really get that close. It's really 30 million-ish away from getting there. But worldwide it was able to do that. It's just domestically, I'm sure Sony's really displeased with the results, but I would be displeased too with the critical reception and box office results too if I worked at Sony. But still, are you really that surprised that Ghostbusters didn't do that well, in spite of all the controversy? Moving on, because I don't want to talk about Ghostbusters. Number 10 is Ice Age Collision Course. So great, another movie I don't want to talk about. This weekend it made $4,300,000, and that adds to a total of $53 million, which is still like $50 million away from getting to its budget of $105 million, but worldwide it's already there, and I'm just waiting for Blue Sky to come out and say, hey, we found that billion-dollar idea for Ice Age 6. Be excited, world, because really they're only looking at the worldwide box office when it comes to these movies. That's the only explanation, because domestically here this movie's bombing, but if you look at the worldwide charts, it's doing exceptionally well. So if Ice Age 6 comes around, blame everyone except America, pretty much. But now the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Now I'm going to say that number 1 is still going to be Suicide Squad. I'm sure there's going to be a really big drop, but I don't think it's going to drop all that much. I think it's going to make enough where it's still going to be number 1. Then I'm going to say number 2 is Pete's Dragon, because it's a Disney movie, and it's also a remake of another Disney movie back in the day. I'm going to say number 3 will also be Sausage Party, the Seth Rogen animated comedy, mainly because people probably want to see this outrageous, hilarious animated film. I'm assuming it's hilarious at least. And there's probably going to be some people who bring their kids because they're really confused by the poster, and then they realize, oh, this is rated R. Uh-oh. Looks like you're going to have to stick it out, little Timmy. And then number 4 is Jason Bourne. Now I'm going to say number 5 is Bad Moms. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then whoops. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.